Bible Stories Illustrated, From Genesis to Jesus. If you are new to this channel, be sure to like, subscribe and ring the bell for all notifications for a 10-minute illustrated Bible story every day. In this video, you will hear the story of the day 3 mysterious visitors arrived at Abraham's tent. What began as an ordinary day in the desert would soon become one of the most important moments in the entire story of Abraham. Because one of those visitors carried a message that seemed completely impossible. It was a hot and quiet day in the land where Abraham was living. Abraham was sitting at the entrance of his tent during the heat of the day. Suddenly, he looked up and saw 3 men standing not far away. They seemed to appear almost without warning. Abraham immediately stood up and ran toward them. He bowed low to the ground in respect. Even though they looked like ordinary travelers, Abraham sensed that something about them was different. He invited him to rest under the tree near his tent. He asked him to stay for a while so he could bring them food. This was an important sign of kindness in those days. The 3 visitors agreed to stay. Abraham quickly ran back to the tent and called for Sarah. He asked her to prepare bread as quickly as possible. Then Abraham ran to choose a young calf so a proper meal could be prepared. Everything was done quickly because Abraham wanted to honor his guests. Soon the meal was ready. Abraham brought bread, meat, and milk and placed it before them. Then he stood nearby while they ate. As they were eating, one of the visitors asked a question that surprised Abraham. He asked where Sarah was. Abraham answered that she was inside the tent. Then the visitor said something that changed everything. He said that when he returned the following year, Sarah would have a son. Sarah was listening from inside the tent. When she heard those words, she could hardly believe them. She was already very old. She had waited for a child for many years. Now it seemed far too late. So quietly, she laughed to herself. She thought that something like this could never happen. But the visitor knew exactly what she had done. He asked Abraham why Sarah had laughed. He asked if anything was too difficult for God. This was not only a question for Sarah. It was also a reminder of the promise God had already made. The visitor repeated the promise again. Sarah would have a son. And it would happen exactly when God said it would happen. Sarah became afraid when she realized that the visitor knew her thoughts. She tried to deny that she had laughed. But the visitor gently said that she had laughed. This moment showed that the visitors were not ordinary men. One of them was speaking with the authority of God himself. What seemed impossible to Sarah was not impossible for God. The promise that had been repeated for many years was now closer than ever. Abraham had believed the promise for a long time. But now Sarah was being drawn into the promise as well. The child that had been promised would not come from anyone else. He would come from Sarah herself. This was the moment when the impossible promise became real. It was no longer something that might happen one day. It was something that was going to happen very soon. The visitors did not stay long after the meal was finished. But the message they brought would never be forgotten. Because within a year, everything would change. Sarah would finally hold the child she had waited for all her life. And the promise that began when God first called Abraham would move one step closer to being fulfilled. But this was not the only reason the visitors had come. Because in the next story, Abraham would learn that a great city was about to be destroyed.
Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to help spread the word of our Lord. Thank you.